Hi everyone and welcome to Get Indie Gaming and to the February edition of our Hidden Gems series, a showcase that casts an eye over 5 indie games of recent times that might have slipped past you in the hubbub of the thousands of titles that pop onto the scene each year. Coming up, we've one of the real surprises of 2018 so far, a bittersweet adventure, and a fun and frantic couch co-op experience. And with that, it's over to February's Hidden Gems. We'll start February with Reigns Her Majesty, which is a follow-up to the original Reigns, which came out in the summer of 2016. Much like the first game, Her Majesty plays like a cross between those swipe left, swipe right apps and a deck of tarot cards where you make binary decisions for any number of circumstances. While simple sounding enough, you'll need to balance your decisions between 4 elements: the church, the military, the budget, and your subjects. Pleasing one group will likely aggravate the others. Each group is represented by a scale, and if one gets too empty or too full, that's game over. Anger the church, for example, and you'll be burned at the stake. The key to success is keeping all things in balance. Often this means making decisions that seem counterintuitive and cruel. It's superbly written, with multiple playthroughs or lives, as they can be considered, being rewarded with new cards and storylines that pop up depending upon your decisions from earlier games. Her Majesty launched towards the end of last year on the iOS, Android and PC. From Benjamin Rivers, Alone With You launched under the premise of a sci-fi romance adventure and follows that styling throughout. It's an introspective tale about space exploration and human foolhardiness. Classic sci-fi titles such as Ray Bradbury's The Martian Chronicles and perhaps a 2001 Space Odyssey are certainly inspirations. You play as the only survivor after a failed colonization attempt, your only companion being an AI system that's able to recreate 4 other colonists as holograms to help you go about your business. You're able to converse with your former colleagues, and in a pleasing twist, they're seemingly aware of their ceased-to-be status too. The game itself revolves around exploration, puzzles, and item hunts. Those puzzles, while not particularly challenging, do require some careful attention to your interaction with leftover logs and journals, and without a quest tracker, keeping your own set of notes can come in handy. Despite the retro, heavily pixelated artwork, at times it carries off an intense and graphic depiction that helps deliver upon the story's rich nature of mortality, personal relationships, and the overall human condition.
Iris, run the death squared simulation for me, please.
Yes, David.
Up now in Death Squared, we've a game that arguably could have found its way onto our recent co-op indie game showcase video. Developed by SMG Studio and out now on all of this generation's consoles, this one found a home with us on the Switch, such as the ease of use of the Joy-Cons and its portability. It's simple enough. You control 2 to 4 cube-like robots and are tasked to get them to their goal position without letting any of them die. While the single player is good fun, this one shines in co-op play for the same reasons as we loved Snipper Clips. However, Death Squared is a far tougher experience and one that rewards teamwork and persistence. With over 80 2-player and over 40 4-player levels, there's plenty here to keep you entertained for hours. Stories Untold hit the PC back in late February last year, and it comprises 4 short connected stories that place you in front of different computers and pieces of machinery as the story progresses around you. To say too much on this one is somewhat difficult, as any description is liable to be spoiler heavy, which would ruin its impact and surprises. Smartly scripted, with puzzle sections taking up the large proportion of the game, it's a storytelling experience that comes in a similar vein to Her Story and Stranger Things, with a playtime in the region of 3 to 4 hours. While somewhat skimpy, the intensity of the plot and surprises that come your way mean you're constantly on edge. It's a sci-fi horror that grabs your attention from the off, and come the end, leaves you spellbound.
Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice.
From late last month, our number one hidden gem for February, Nantucket is one of the most engaging multi-genre titles, with the majority of it being a strategic RPG that we've seen in a number of years. Set a few years after the events narrated by Herman Melville in Moby Dick, you play as Ismail, the sole survivor of the Pequod. The game revolves around a system of quests, collecting missions in ports from across the Seven Seas. Completing these offers you experience points to spend on the skill trees of hunting, navigation, science and crafting. Prior to setting off though, you'll need to equip your ship with enough supplies, an able and healthy crew, while making sure your vessel is in a good enough condition to make it from A to B. Perhaps the standout aspect of the game comes from the atmosphere the team have created on board ship. The noise as she cuts through the waves, the sound of the ringing bells as you glide into port, and the voices of the crew as they sing shanties while about their daily tasks. As we alluded to in the intro, for us, Nantucket is one of the biggest surprises of the year so far. With Nantucket sailing into the distance, this heralds the end of this month's Hidden Gems episode. We appreciate your continued support here at Get Indie Gaming, and we're honoured to have made it past the 20,000 subscriber threshold. Here's hoping you continue to find enjoyment here with our indie game content, and hope to see you here soon for more videos.